friend. I hope you meant to be here because if you were searching for the latest True Crime in Canada podcast, it's not here. But I promise just as much entertainment and psychology without the gruesome stuff. Hey, this is Mind Body Connection with Karey Smith, where mental health meets healing, hope, and the occasional spontaneous singing when things get too real. Now before we dive in, let me ask you something. How many times this week have you said out loud to a friend or just in your mind, "I'm so anxious right now," or "I have anxiety"? If you're counting on more than one hand, this episode is basically a love letter written just for you. Because here's something I want you to know. If you've ever said "I have anxiety," like a permanent tattoo on your soul, I want to gently but firmly interrupt that story, that narrative you've been living today. What if I told you anxiety isn't your identity? It is not who you are. It's not a life sentence or even a diagnosis you need to hold on to. And it can actually be your superpower if you learn how to decode its messages. Today we're diving in with wisdom from the best therapists in the field and other incredible minds who've cracked the code on this thing we call anxiety. Here's what we're going to unpack in today's episode. Why anxiety is actually your brain's overprotective best friend, the language trap that is keeping you stuck, and how to escape it. 5 game-changing tools that work better than just breathing deeply. Plus the grocery store story that will make you see panic attacks in a completely different light. And let's get into that story right now. This story is called The Grocery Store Awakening. I want you to meet Callie, mother of 2, running on coffee and determination. It's Tuesday and it's supposed to be her easy day. Just a quick grocery run with 7-year-old Emma and 4-year-old Jake. What could go wrong, she thought. Armed with her color-coded grocery list, she's thinking 30 minutes in and out. Maybe she'll actually get to drink a hot cup of coffee before noon. First, when she gets there, she realizes the store renovations had rearranged everything. Her muscle memory is useless. Bread is where cereal used to be and milk's playing hide and seek. Her nervous system is already registering. This isn't right. Then Emma launches into a full campaign for sugar-covered marshmallow something cereal, complete with promises about chores if she can have it. While Jake discovers that cartwheels make different sounds on grocery store floors while kicking boxes off the shelf. And that's when we hit aisle 7. Jake, trying to be helpful, reaches for the pickles. It's on Mom's list. He knew that, but the jar is too big for his little hands. Smash! Pickle juice and glass everywhere. That's when something in Callie just snapped. Not anger, but a panic. Her heart starts hammering like it's trying to escape her chest. The fluorescent lights feel like interrogation lamps. The store sounds like beeping scanners, chatter, and Jake is crying. It all becomes a wall of noise crashing over her. She can feel her vision narrow as she's looking through a telescope backwards. Her hands are shaking like leaves in a hurricane. And here's what's running through her mind. I can't breathe. Everyone's staring. I'm a terrible mother. I can't even handle a grocery store. This is it. I'm dying in aisle 7, surrounded by pickles. But here's what made everything totally amplified. Callie's nervous system had been keeping score. Every sleepless night, every skipped meal, every time she put someone else's needs before her own, it was all adding up. Her body was like a smoke detector that had been beeping quietly for months. She'd been pulling out the batteries instead of addressing the fire. That moment in aisle 7, that wasn't her body betraying her. That was her internal alarm system finally getting loud enough that she couldn't ignore it anymore. It was saying, "We've been trying to tell you, you're overwhelmed." The tight shoulders, the restless sleep, short fuse with the kids. You've been overriding us, and now we're going to override you. Because here's the thing about panic attacks. They feel like you're dying, but they're actually your body trying desperately to keep you alive. That racing heart, preparing muscles for action, the tunnel vision, focusing on threats, the shaking, energy mobilizing. Her body was doing exactly what God designed it to do. It just couldn't tell the difference between a charging bull and chronic overwhelm. So there she is, sitting on the floor of aisle 7, Jake in her lap, Emily holding her hand, surrounded by the pickle juice and concerned strangers, and instead of shame, something else washed over her, recognition. Her body wasn't broken, her lifestyle was. Emma, wise beyond her years, patted her arm and said, "It's okay, Mummy. We can ask for help to clean up." That night, Callie learned something crucial. Her body had been whispering before it started screaming. Self-care isn't selfish. It's just proper maintenance for the most important system that she's responsible for, herself. How many of us are walking around with our internal smoke detectors beeping, convinced that we just need to push through? That grocery store didn't break Callie. It revealed what was already broken, the belief that her needs could always come last. So the next time your heart races or your hands shake, ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me? What have I been ignoring? Because sometimes the breakdown is actually the breakthrough. Sometimes the grocery store awakening is exactly what we need to wake up to our own lives. Callie's feeling of anxiety wasn't the problem. It was the solution her body was trying to implement. So if you were here before, we talked about this last week, how powerful words are. Jim Quick teaches us that words literally rewire our brains. Every time you say, "I'm anxious," you're not describing a temporary state. You're claiming an identity. Would you say, "I am hunger" when you're hungry? Of course not. You'd say, "I'm feeling hungry." Can you see the difference? So instead of saying, "I have anxiety," how about, "I'm experiencing anxious thoughts"? Or instead of, "I'm an anxious person," how about, "I'm someone who feels things deeply"? Or, "My anxiety is acting up." Instead, "I'm noticing my stress signals." I call this upgrading your internal dialogue. When you change your words, you literally change your neural pathways. But I know change's gonna come. Oh yeah, change is coming. Can you feel it? So when you're changing those neural pathways, it's like switching from being anxiety's prisoner to being its curious observer. And here's something wild. Did you know that anxiety and excitement are the same physiological response? Same racing heart, same heightened awareness. The only difference, the story we tell ourselves about it. Okay, now I want to talk about what anxiety really is and why it's actually brilliant. Dr. Caroline Leaf revolutionized how I think about anxiety. She says anxiety isn't a mental illness, it's mental intelligence. It's your brain's smoke detector going off, not because there's necessarily a fire, but because it detected something that might need attention. So the feeling of anxiety serves 3 main purposes. Protection, something feels unsafe. Let me get you ready to respond. Processing, we have some unfinished emotional business to handle. Preparation, this matters to you. Let me heighten your focus. Think about it. Do you get anxious about things you don't care about? Never. You get anxious about job interviews because your career matters. You get anxious about your kids because they're your world. You get anxious about relationships because connection is vital to you. The goal isn't to eliminate anxiety. It's to become fluent in its language. Instead of asking, "How do I get rid of this?" start asking, "What is this trying to tell me? What do I need right now?" Is this fear based on current reality or past programming? I also believe that anxiety stems from disconnection. Disconnection from ourselves, our needs, or authentic response to situations. So sometimes anxiety is actually saying, please pay attention to what you actually need right now. Boom. Did you hear that? That boom just means something important was said. Okay, got it? Let's keep going. The thing about anxiety is that it's like having a very dramatic friend who's convinced every situation is a catastrophe waiting to happen. Your brain is trying to protect you by running through every possible disaster scenario, but instead of keeping you safe, it's keeping you stuck in a loop of worry. But here's what changed everything for me, and I hope it does for you too. You can't stop thoughts from showing up. They're going to pop in your head whether you invite them or not, but you absolutely can change how you relate to them. There's a huge difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is when that what if thought hits you and you immediately spiral. Your heart races, you start catastrophizing, maybe you avoid the situation entirely. But responding, that's when you pause, take a breath, and recognize, oh, there's that anxious thought again. It's just my brain trying to protect me. But I don't have to believe everything it tells me. And here's another game changer. Those beliefs running the show in your head, the ones telling you that you're not good enough or smart enough or worthy enough, those aren't facts about who you are. They're just stories you've been telling yourself. And here's the beautiful part about stories. They can be rewritten. So the next time you catch yourself in the what if loop, try this. Instead of asking, what if it goes wrong? Flip the script and ask, what if it goes right? Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. So why not give it something beautiful to work with? Remember, you're not your anxious thought. You're the observer of those thoughts. And that, my friend, can change everything. Okay, I love this part. This is where I give you some tools. These are 5 tools that actually work. And it's not just deep breathing, although deep breathing is good for you. Tool number 1, the anxiety dialogue technique. So I want you to talk to your anxiety like you would a worried child. Literally say, thank you for trying to protect me. I hear you. I've got this now. This is kind of a name it to tame it effect. When you acknowledge anxiety with compassion, it often softens. Tool number 2, the movie screen method. Did you know your brain cannot tell the difference between vividly imagined and real experiences? Instead of playing a disaster movie in your head, consciously direct a different film. See yourself handling the situation with calm confidence. Make it vivid, make it wonderful, make it colorful and real in your mind. Tool number 3, we talked about this before, but it's really good. This is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. So when anxiety hits, immediately notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Again, this just helps pull you out of racing thoughts and into your present moment. Tool number 4 is the energy reset. I want you to put your hand on your heart and say, I am safe, I am capable. This feeling is temporary. Your nervous system responds to your own voice more than anyone else's, so make it count. And last, tool number 5 is the anxiety inventory. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, is this thought helpful or harmful? Number 2, is this fear about something happening now or something that might happen? And number 3, what would I tell my friend if they came to me with this worry? I want you to become the chief of operations of the business of your own mind. So you get to decide which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones get fired. I want to give you another practical application. This is called the daily anxiety audit. Okay, I'm giving you homework. Yes, I'm giving you homework because I care about your mental health that much. So every evening for the next week, I want you to ask yourself, when did I feel most anxious today? What was my body trying to tell me? And how can I honor that message tomorrow? Maybe your anxiety was saying you're taking on too much. You need more connection. Or this situation doesn't align with your values. Listen to it like the wise advisor it actually is. And remember, healing isn't linear. Some days you'll nail these tools, and other days you'll forget they exist. That's not failure, that's just being human. 'Cause I'm only human. Okay, my friend, so that's what I have for you today. If this episode helped you in any way, would you do me the biggest favor? Can you share this with someone who needs to hear that they're not broken, they're not their anxiety, and they're absolutely not alone in this? If you can hit the share button or send it to a friend, or even better, have this conversation over coffee with someone you love. Let's normalize talking about mental health like we talk about physical health, with compassion, curiosity, and no shame. And if you're ready for more personalized support, I offer one-on-one therapy and coaching sessions, phone or video, whatever feels right for you. Your first 30-minute consultation is completely free because I believe healing should never feel out of reach. You can reach out to me on my website. There's a form that you can fill out, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. And don't forget to grab your free resources at my website, healthymindandbody.ca. I've got mindfulness and anxiety reset tools and other great mental health resources. Also, I'm so excited if you could come and join our brand new Facebook community. We're building a tribe of women who choose growth over fear, connection over isolation, and self-compassion over self-judgment. Let's help support each other in this better mental health journey. I'll put all the links in the show notes. I would love it if you would also leave a comment if you enjoyed today's episode or any other episode. It would mean a lot to me and help me to continue putting out content to help more women. Before you go, I want you to remember this. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fear. You are not your anxiety. You are a precious gift that anxiety is trying to protect. And that, my friend, is where your true power lives. Until next time, please remember, be a little kinder to yourself today.